Hack number 10, flatten your breakfast curve. Have you ever heard the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day? Well, it is, but not necessarily in the way that most people think. It is far better to fast for the first half of the day rather than to consume something that is going to spike your blood sugar and keep you on an unconsciously driven starch and sugar roller coaster the rest of the day. In a study conducted by Stanford University in 2018, researchers discovered that otherwise healthy people could experience blood sugar spikes in the same range as diabetics after having a bowl of cornflakes for breakfast. The Stanford researchers conducted a sub-study in 30 subjects whose prior blood sugar tests indicated that they were healthy, meaning no prediabetes or diabetes. They were fitted with continuous glucose monitors, or CGMs, and alternated between 3 breakfasts. The first being a bowl of cornflakes with milk, the second being a peanut butter sandwich, and the third being a protein bar. Significantly more than half of the healthy group had blood sugar spikes at the same high levels as those who were diagnosed as pre-diabetic or diabetic. Dr. Michael Snyder, professor and senior author of the study, said, "We saw that 80% of our participants spiked after eating a bowl of cornflakes and milk. Make of that what you will, but my own personal opinion is that breakfast cereal is probably not such a great thing for everyone to be eating." There are lots of folks running around with their glucose levels spiking and they don't even know it. The covert spikes are a problem because high blood sugar levels, especially when prolonged, can contribute to cardiovascular disease risk and a person's tendencies to develop insulin resistance, which is a common precursor to diabetes. We saw that some folks who think they're healthy actually are misregulating glucose, sometimes at the same level of people with diabetes, and they have no idea. According to a lab study conducted by an independent research group, certain breakfast foods spike your blood sugar levels way more than others. Here is a list of some of the worst possible foods that you could have for breakfast because the average spike of these foods is above 40 milligrams per deciliter. To put that in perspective, anything higher than 30 milligrams per deciliter is considered to be a huge blood sugar destabilizing spike. When you eat these foods, the very first thing that you are doing with your day is destabilizing your biochemistry. Not the best choice. Okay, so let's talk specifically about which foods are the most destabilizing breakfast foods. These are Egg McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese, Pop-Tarts, French toast, blueberry scone, cereal, cinnamon roll, croissant, toast with jam, and an English muffin. While we're on the subject of foods that spike blood sugar levels, let's go ahead and address everyone's favorite quick and easy breakfast option, which is cereal. Breakfast cereals are, generally speaking, not a good breakfast option. We're talking Honey Nut Cheerios, Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Special K, and practically every other cereal that has been marketed as a healthy, low-calorie breakfast food. Get it out of the house. Many of these foods can spike your blood glucose levels by 60 milligrams per deciliter or higher. And remember that anything above 30 milligrams per deciliter is in the ridiculous range. So what I'm saying about these breakfast food options is that this is essentially dessert for breakfast. In fact, eating some of these popular cereals for breakfast is actually worse than eating dessert for breakfast. Peach pie has an average glucose spike of 46 milligrams per deciliter. Cinnamon Toast Crunch has an average glucose spike of 59 milligrams per deciliter. So if it comes down to a battle royale between peach pie and Cinnamon Toast Crunch for breakfast, go for the peach pie. When we're thinking about breakfast options, we want to stay away from sweet things in general. My pro tip is this: if you're going to eat breakfast, then always eat a savory one. Never go sweet first thing in the morning. We have been so conditioned by marketing to believe that we should be eating things like cereal for breakfast. For many people, the thought of eating vegetables for breakfast is weird and unconventional. But I would encourage you to think about that for a second. Where did that belief come from? That it was strange to eat vegetables for breakfast? Because it really isn't. If I wake up one morning and I'm really hungry right away and I know that I've got a long day ahead of me, on a day where I will be exerting a lot of energy, I'll go ahead and have a breakfast salad, smoothie, or some veggie leftovers. Then I get started on my day with a clear mind and stable blood sugar levels. Besides intermittent fasting, which is not something that everyone will want to do, consuming a blood sugar stabilizing breakfast first thing in the morning is the best call you can make at the start of your day. For the duration of this nutrition challenge, I would encourage you to stick with smoothies for the first meal of the day, and keep in mind that we're not just talking any basic fruit smoothie. Think back to week 1 where we talked about the green smoothie and the Fab 4 smoothie. Both of these options were more nutrient dense with a lower sugar profile that could keep our blood sugar steady throughout the morning. However, I want to be realistic. I know that for many people it won't be possible to have a smoothie as your first meal of the day every single day. If that's the case, then just do your best to keep breakfast savory. Here are some good breakfast options to make sure you don't spike your blood sugar first thing in the morning. A frittata, avocado and egg, avocado and greens, chia pudding, celery with nut butter, Greek yogurt and berries, a balanced high-fiber green smoothie, a breakfast salad, cooked veggies and lentils, Fab 4 protein smoothie. Now some of you might be thinking, hey, what about the rule of eating light to heavy throughout the day and not consuming animal protein like eggs at the beginning of the day? Well, my answer to that is that it depends on your goals. If you are really wanting to focus on healing, weight loss, or detoxification, then stick with that. Go plant-based early in the day. Don't do eggs for breakfast. Keep it light and focus on smoothies. However, if you find that smoothies are just too hard, not appealing, not enough, or an unrealistic option for you right now, then a healthy, savory breakfast is fine for most people, and it's better than a sugar rush first thing in the morning. Hack number 11. After you eat, move. Your muscles burn glucose for energy. With every new muscle contraction, glucose molecules are burned up, and we can use this fact to our advantage by activating our muscles after a meal. In this study, it was concluded that going for a brisk walk substantially reduced the glucose peak in individuals after they ate. So in order to make the most of our body's ability to burn up glucose, here are some useful things to know. Walk for 10 to 20 minutes after meals. Aerobic exercise after meals can decrease glucose spikes by up to 27%. You can work out up to 90 minutes after a meal. Walk or use your muscles acutely in a push-up, squat, plank, or weightlifting exercise. Resistance exercise or weightlifting has been shown to decrease that post-meal glucose spike by up to 30%, as well as the size of further spikes for the next 24 hours by 35%. When we move after eating, we flatten our glucose curve without increasing our glucose level. The summary here is going for even a 10-minute walk after we eat will lessen the side effects of whatever we just ate. And the longer we work out, the more our glucose and insulin curves will flatten. Hack number 12, reach for vinegar before you eat. Here's a neat little hack that you can use to help your body regulate how quickly glucose enters the bloodstream after you eat a carb-heavy meal. It turns out that the acetic acid in vinegar slows the breakdown of carbohydrates in the stomach and therefore slows the release of glucose into the bloodstream. You can use any form of vinegar for this hack, but the most popular and arguably the healthiest form is apple cider vinegar. Simply put 1 tablespoon in a glass of water about 15 minutes before you eat and drink it down. If you can't get down with putting vinegar in your water, then try using it in a salad dressing. This will add flavor to your salad and help your body to slow that glucose spike at the same time.